Hello everyone, this is your host Legend, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a little bit different of a video, a little bit more outside of my usual repertoire, but this was quite fun to do and I very much would like to do this again. It's a very much like a podcast style video. It's just a very long talk that's about guild raids that started with one of my guild mates and eventually had another one join later on. This is probably one of the most enjoyable talks I've had about Tacticus in a while, and I was just very glad to have it go as smoothly as it did. I wanted to step in though before it goes and just say this is the long form, and the editing I just didn't really have the energy to do today. I meant to edit out at least a lot of the dead space and whatnot, but I don't know, just not having a great day right now, I guess. Very tired, and that's enough of an excuse for me. I just wanted to make sure that was known before this started. Next week, I will try to have a highlight reel of some of the more important spots, and alongside that, maybe try to release a couple shorts. We'll see how I'm feeling. For sure, a highlight reel, but I'm not going to take up too much more time, and let's just get right into the good old talk that we had. Today is an interesting day, not really. It's kind of boring still, but I am here with one of my guild mates. Hopefully some more can pour in later. We'll see. In likelihood not. Oh well. If you want, you can introduce yourself. I don't care.
Yeah, hey, I'm one of Legends Guildmates. My name is Sweet Tengu. You can just call me Suit for short because it's easier. I'm one of the few
And
Neurothroat players in the guild. That's pretty much it.
the superior neurothrope player, if I'm being honest with myself.
No, I just been doing it for far too long and made all the simple mistakes everyone else made.
So this video is in honor of season 100, 100 seasons of guild raids, which is insane to say the least, to think of that. This game mode has changed. I mean, even just in like the last 25 seasons, we have seen massive changes to the game mode, how it's played. And we're just kind of here to chat about really anything. We're going to see, I'm getting a feel of how something like this could run. Because I would like to do more sit down and chat type style videos if I can. Because it was quite fun doing this with Carnage, and I thought it'd be fun to do this again.
Oh, yeah.
As far as topics go, it's kind of open book. You can be as critical or positive for the game as you want to be. It can be as simple as Magnus sucks balls to fight because, well, he's Magnus, but I want obviously good reasoning to any convention, any positive, any negative. Like, as long as there's good reasoning behind it, like, Magnus sucks because, well, he's unpredictable, which, although is good for a avatar of Tzeentch, you need to also be able to have some predictability and reasonableness to his fights. Like last season we had Mythic 2 Magnus, which was not fun to say the least, with it being the bridge map, with it being just his NPCs are very powerful, very annoying to deal with, and really limiting. You can't really do any AdMech strats. You can't do any Neurothrope strats. You're very limited to Rapid Assault.
I feel the problem.
And even Rapid Assault
I
struggles.
feel the problem with Magnus really comes down to you're really straight line. If you don't have the two anti-psyker units, Alalotoy, I can't pronounce her name, or the guy
Atlacoya?
from the Black Templar guy. I have him, but I don't remember his name right now. I'm blanking.
Halbrecht?
Halbrecht, yeah. If you don't have those two, you do almost no damage, or it's just a pure suicide run. Because every single run I did last season was pop my Hal, go in, do the big burst damage, see how long my like 5 stars and all those guys survive.
Yeah, for me, last season was a lot of would double howl and realize either the NPCs were in my way to actually hit Magnus, or just he wasn't moved close enough. He wasn't in range. Couldn't hit him at all anyways. Like, that was over half my runs on Magnus.
Yeah, I never truly got Karn in on Magnus the whole entire time I ran him. Either he would get close and an NPC would cut him off, or Magnus would be a jerk and teleport him halfway across the map.
Yeah, I know. We had L4 as well, and I tried doing one run at L4. Yeah, no, that did not go great. He teleported Anchi away from everyone else, so I couldn't double howl. No one got the movement boost. No one could hit him. It was not fun.
And see, that's something I've been thinking is like, certain bosses have hard counters. Like, Mortarion, his hard counter is like Neurothrope. Crawl, Rapid Assault right now. Like, Magnus doesn't have that hard counter. There's not one, this is what's going to work, just play it.
Yeah, Magnus, it's like, I don't have an issue with the idea that he is unpredictable. It is good for it is perfectly in character for someone who serves Tzeentch to be a bit unpredictable, hard to understand. It is the way he works right now that is just, it's miserable to fight, to say the least. Like, I know, like, I don't think it's crazy for an idea that people, and like, sorry, let me rephrase. I remember having seeing conversation with fellow creators, just like, Magnus seasons are like notably bad for even the upper guilds, and I don't think I've seen any of the creators say they actually enjoy playing against Magnus.
Yeah, that's true, because when we looked at our guild token usage, Magnus was double than all the rest of the bosses. Just plain out.
And I mean, I know there's like, they also at one point did actually make him worse the fight, because at one point it was predictable who he would clone, because he would go in order of your team. He would always clone the first person in the character in the first slot, so you could actually predict that, and it wouldn't be as bad. But they eventually made that random, because I mean, at first that didn't seem very natural for him, but I wonder if something like that would, I mean, it would definitely help. I think the next best thing they could do is actually just get rid of the bridge map completely. To me, bridges has always been one of the most unfun map designs in Tacticus, just in general. Like, there's that the 2-bridge arena map, and the amount of times I've kind of just like been non-thinking playing arena and end up losing on that map to even weaker opponents, it does suck.
I feel you, but a lot of my units fly because, again, I play Neurothrope, so like Aramin flies, Neurothrope flies, Yazagor flies, all these people fly, so a bridge to me is like, oh, I'm just gonna go around it. But the problem is everyone starts
Yeah.
sticking on the bridge, and you're like, well, I gotta wait one at a time to shoot them.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, it's something that definitely affected me more, because before trying to move into Neuro, I was playing AdMech, which is another thing like to talk about, like the sudden like rise. Like, we had a very quick rise in AdMech. Like, when Extra Row got added, and Extra Row, Tangita, and Actus got added to the game, the AdMech roster really rapidly came into the meta and kind of started dominating. Over time, I feel like not Game Workshop, Snowprint, they did a good job on like actually balancing things out. Like, before, like, this was something I wanted to bring up. Before Leviscus, I thought the balance between the guild raid teams was in a very good spot. Neuro was on the rise, which, after being in basically poverty for so damn long, RA was like had a healthy set of bosses, and the AdMechs had a healthy set of bosses. I really did think the balance, they were like in a good swing at things. And then Leviscus came.
Oh yeah.
And then the Leviscus nation attacked.
And this is my problem with Leviscus is his team up seems too good for everything. Because originally it's like, oh, he's only going to be good if the boss sits still. And it's like, okay, that makes sense. But then people started tweaking and learning and subbing at this guy for like, you know, I remember one week no one was using boss. Then the next week everyone was using boss. Then it was like, oh, let's try Victorious on this guy. It works really well. Let's go and do this. So like originally he was terrible at Avatar. Now all of a sudden, top tier in Avatar. He was terrible in Mortarion. Now he's top tier in Mortarion. So it kind of kills that three-way balance that we kind of had with Admech, RA, and Neurothrope. Then I was like, if you're not playing this guy, you better be playing something that can just do as much damage as he can.
Let me see some. Where is... There it is. Best hits leaderboard. Let's just take a look at this real quick. For season 99, Belisarius was a big hit with Leviscus. Gazgul, big hit with Leviscus. Avatar, big hit with Leviscus. Mortarion is the one exception, but at the same time, that's Mortarion for you. Yeah. Although, wait a minute, did I just see? No, okay, I'm seeing things. Silent King, it's another Leviscus boss. Mortarion M1 was Leviscus, and then we hit Magnus again, and it's the same. Oddly enough, right now at the start of the season, Admech is holding 2.1 in the lead for Hive Tyrant. Is holding the lead for L2 Turvagon. And then you hit Screamer in their second place, but big hits there. This Dorn map's not the one that's good for big hits, so it's Admech like it normally is. I shouldn't say like it should be, but Gazgul, like usual, surprisingly weak to the Battlesuit team, which I wonder if that'll ever come actually the meta. Kane is big hit. Call's showing big hit right now. So, I mean, it's just, to me, the thing that bothered me is I was an Admech player who, like, not meta against every boss, but definitely too powerful against too many.
Yeah.
And then things started balancing out once RA got introduced, and I was really glad. Oh, hello, Bohm. I was really glad with that, like watching how things were starting to balance out. Admech wasn't as dominant, but still good. RA was on the rise, but didn't look like they would take over everything. And Neurothrope with Norn Crown variation and just the improvements they've seen actually started coming back up as well. And it's like I said earlier, like the balance felt great.
Yeah, I think
it's something that they need to address soon.
Yeah, I think the real thing with Neurothrope that helped it out was the addition of a good Machine of War and the good relics. Because the Book of Fate has been in relic slots for like when they first created. They were like one of the first relics created. And then the Norcrown came maybe about what, 4 or 5 months afterwards? Around that time frame?
Roughly, yeah.
And then when Zakar was like, someone figured out, oh, Zakar will proc with the Book of Fate, it kind of all lined up.
Yeah, and it gave us a very interesting like team lineup for Neurothrope with, of all the characters, you can actually spice in Thalmunkus, who like it was chronically like one of the weaker psychers. Now he actually has a place within the guild raid meta, even if it's like a little bit niche because he can acquire the Book of Fate, but it's still very interesting to me, like how quickly that Neurothrope went from, like they're good, but they're not game defining to, there's something here.
Yeah, because I felt the problem with the Exorcist build was you're throwing out this active that half the time the missile doesn't hit, so you're just doing the flat buff. And if any point in time the Yazagor dies to something because he's made of tissue, it ruins the whole entire run. With at least
Yeah,
Zakar, if Abraxas dies, you can still summon him near Archimon. You can still summon him near the Neurothrope. You still get that damage. You just don't get as much damage.
yeah, and it's definitely something that I've experienced plenty of times trying to learn Neurothrope is especially like against like Eldreon is just like I've just like started early summoning Abraxas' summons to like be a distraction for oh what why can't I remember his active right off the top of my head. I don't because Doom is his passive. Because I've had it plenty of times where his active completely just smites like Yazgor. So, and then I know earlier in the season I had a run against Sibel just go completely down the gutter because she used her active and high rolled against Neurothrope, which that hurt.
Well, I've learned with her, just don't put anyone near her. Like your first turn, you need to be as soon as you get close enough, you have to summon because she'll target a summon before she targets a character. But if she targets a character, it's almost guaranteed to be a kill, regardless of who you kind of put near her.
Man, it's like Sibel is one that's like always been a character to me that's like very interesting in concept, but like I've always found kind of just underwhelming. But like seeing the guild raid side boss variation and how that works, it's so much fun. It's just it's painful the fight sometimes. Just that, but that's because I suck at the boss. Like I have no doubt it's because I'm not skilled with it yet. And that's like to me the greatest thing about guild raids is you can learn, adapt, and evolve over time. And it's something that I feel like Leviscus kind of took away because instead of having like this dynamic thing you have with each team going on, each has their use. The default's now just throw Leviscus at it.
Oh yeah, and to me, deep down, I feel one or two things going to happen. Either they're going to build a newer, more broken character, or B, he's going to get Ragnar Eldarion treatment. He's going to get some massive nerf, and we're going to get another reset stone.
Oh yeah, and that's like something I was thinking. It's just like I don't see a way they could reasonably give Admex a relic or Neurothrope more like power without just like giving something straight up more busted than Leviscus's, and that's just not a healthy approach for guild raids or the game in general.
Well, I'm a little bit optimistic on Admech because I'm more curious about the new Necron unit they're about to introduce because I believe his passive reduces damage. I don't know if it'll work with summons because I didn't data mine dig through that. But if it does work with summons, it might give Admech that extra push on Avatar or Mortarion where the ads are just dying to the AoE. Because if they survive the
Yeah, and
AoE, that's all their damage.
I mean, to be fair, the issue with Amex now is also just like I, I, no, there's not like an issue with them. I shouldn't say an issue because it's just they're getting outshined by Leviscus, and it's really the only other problem I can think with Amex is like they oddly enough have a kind of a neurothrope like level of learning that you have to do for what is probably one of the easiest teams to achieve in the game, since you don't need any legendary characters or anything like that for them. Like, Vitruvius is nice to have, but you don't absolutely need him. There are bosses he's good against, but you can make things work without him. So you can run a all epic or lower lineup of characters, because Ro is, if I remember right, uncommon at his base. Actus, Tangita are rare. Golgortz is epic. You have Aleph Null, who they're I think uncommon. Like it's a very easy team to unlock. Very easy team. Yet the barrier to actual doing good damage with them is very high. Kind of like I don't think to the same degree as Neurothrope. Like, I think Neurothrope still has a far greater learning curve, and it's not something I've like. I don't want to say RA doesn't have that, but to a degree, they're a lot simpler and straightforward. You only need to really learn how to pin a boss in a good position, and it works out quite well.
Yeah, I think what holds RA back for a lot of people is the physical wallet. It's a lot of legendaries.
Yeah. And I mean, I've done a couple test runs with RA, and I mean, after a few attempts against like the likes of Gazgul, I managed to get a 700k run from having no experience with the team at all. So I mean, I feel like RA suits the role that AdMech should suit a bit more than AdMech does. Like, AdMech is the team that you should be able to first unlock. If AdMech is the first team you're able to unlock, I feel like there needs to be a better way to convey how to do their strategies better.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm trying to put it, like, because it took me a long time to get very used to AdMech. Oh, I just dropped something. Oops. Anyways, it took me a while to get very used to AdMech. And for a team like that, it's just like, to me, like I said, they should be a little more straightforward. I don't know if there's a good way to do that without completely like ruining their synergy.
And I wonder if it's going to come down to like how Neurothrope didn't really take off till we got the Norn Crown, till we got the Machine of War. If they're going to introduce like a good relic or a character with a good relic for it, or maybe even like the Mechanicus Machine of War, which could be like a Dune Crawler, or I forget what other heavy units they have in 40k, but the only one that comes to my mind is the Dune Crawler because it's iconic. Yeah. Maybe something for Necrons like a Monolith could be something that could help out. But again, you're running into the same issue that I'm currently running with is I need munitions. I eat it like candy. I'm constantly like,
Zakar is a very hungry boy.
Yeah, I see munition in the shop. I'm like, I could spend Blackstone to get a quick, like 30 munition, just to refill my stockpile.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like a whole nother thing is like, I don't think it's a crazy thing to say, like, everyone knows M3 is coming.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it terrifies me. Like, the game, like, this expands a little more past like guild raids as the topic, but like the game economy I don't think is ready for M3, and I'm afraid to see like how much they're gonna, like, I'm not afraid to see how much they have to change because it's a lot. Needs to be a lot of updates and tweaks to the economy to make it possible. But like, for example, like guild raid teams wise, I only have like 4 characters at Mythic who are guild raid characters, and I have only like maybe 3 more who are in a spot where if I just took a little time to grind them out, they can get to Mythic. And that to me is a bigger inherent problem is Mythic, despite the missions, is still too hard of a barrier of entry without paying money.
I find that too to be the case because there's certain characters that I can roll through their Mythic questline. Like for Abaddon, I didn't have much trouble getting through Abaddon's Mythic questline. Right now on Wing Prime, I'm still trying to figure out how to get 12 hits because I can't go, let me go into a campaign and do it. I have to use the arena. Then I gotta hope I run into a Karn. Then I gotta hope Karn doesn't overkill the Wing Prime. It's just not worth the time and effort. So then I have to use my onslaughts to do the same issue to get him to Mythic. That's where it feels kind of like a letdown kind of situation. And I don't know if that's something that could be looked at, studied more, figured out. But at least with the change with Onslaught, it makes it a little bit easier to get characters to Mythic. Because without
no
Onslaught
doubt.
change, my Zakar probably would still be 5-star red legendary because I don't have the team for the incursion yet to get that Mythic grind.
Oh yeah, and I would be in the same spot with Neurothrope. Like, because of the Onslaught change, I was able to get Neurothrope to Mythic, which feels great. Like, Neurothrope has always been one of my favorite characters, and, like, the Onslaught change was so good, and I want to see more of that for the game. Like, the game needs more of that if M3 is going to come out, like, in any decent time frame. And if they want to actually start looping mythic bosses like they said they want to do.
Like, honestly, I want Salvage Run to be rehauled. I barely played the mode. It's the mode I play right at the end of the day. I'm like, ugh, I gotta get the Salvage Run or I don't get my 30 energy.
Yeah. And I mean, that, again, that kind of, like, I don't want to say it, like, breaches our topic, but because at the same time, it actually does, in a good way, loop back into guild raids, because each of these game mode, like, guild raids is, without a doubt, Tacticus's premier game mode. The campaigns are nice,
Yeah.
but they're not there to keep you long term. Guild raids are by far the most popular mode, and the way that each mode feeds into that is something that I think needs to be considered more. Like, obviously, each mode should be fun. Like, I think they did great for Onslaught. Onslaught is so much more enjoyable. Like, I say that as if I'm not sitting at 3 tokens right now, not kind of wanting to do it,
I'm
but
holding my tokens for the training rush to get the books.
yeah. But, like, personally for me, it's just like, they did a great job with Onslaughts, and it makes, like, everything about the game a lot easier to run, a lot smoother. Like, I don't know about you, but for my salvage runs, I've literally done maybe, like, a few runs with the Xenos in Chaos Line, and I'm at, like, sector, like, 2 or 5 for both of
Oh yeah.
those. And then for Imperial, I'm all the way at, like, 40.
I'm kind of the opposite because I have to grind for like the chaos components. So my Xenos track is like ridiculously high, and my Imperial one is sitting at like I think like maybe 5 or 6. I'm like, yeah, I'm not touching that anymore.
I was over exaggerating, but I always forget how long it takes to clear a sector.
Yeah, it's like
I'm
6 zones per sector,
18.
and sometimes it takes like four
And
or five runs just to clear just a zone. It's ridiculous.
yeah, yeah, it is. And if they can do something like they did with Onslaughts to Salvage Run, I think that'd be great. I think it would actually give the mode more use, and it would help to reduce, well, like, with the addition of Mythic, like, the goalpost got moved so much further away, and, like, I don't think they did nearly as much as they would have liked, to reduce how long it takes to rank up a character. It feels better, it does, but it still feels like it takes a long time, especially legendary components, to get a character from Stone 1 to even just Diamond 3.
Oh yeah.
Like, I got Abaddon recently, and I'm only just about now getting him the Gold 3.
And I think with back to guild raids and stuff, the onslaught change did help a lot because it gave us a better orb economy and it gave us better badge economy. But now we're lagging in gold and we're lagging in books. And
Oh, especially
unless
books.
those four things are kind of like evened out, like I could have a 3 blue star Neurothrope, but if I don't have the books to get him there or the gold to increase his badges, he just sits there.
I do want to ask you this. How much do you think they would have to increase the guild credit chest rewards for guild raids, at least at the mythic tier, to start looping mythic? Because I don't know if increasing it by 2k would be enough.
I'm
And
thinking
I could see them doing that.
I'm thinking 3K might be nice, but here's my problem with the looping mythics. The treasure chest at the end. We literally killed, M2 Magnus. Took about 3, maybe 3.5 days. Constant grinding. My reward was a common book. I get common books for just doing like a random arena match. You're telling me I basically killed a god and my reward is a book worth 100 XP.
I didn't even consider that. Yeah, that is bad. I don't even remember what I got from it, but I don't Like whenever I get a legendary or mythic book, I'm always like pleasantly surprised, and I remember it for a bit. Clearly, I did not get that because it was not memorable.
Yeah, and you don't have to guarantee a mythic book from a mythic kill, but it would be nice if there was, like, I don't know, a mythic badge, a mythic orb, or a mythic book. You know, something that rewards you for such a powerful guild crushing thing, but doesn't ruin the economy. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, it really is just like it does tie back into like that is the major problem when it comes to Tacticus right now to me. Like I did 2 videos just talking about how Tacticus is doing, and I don't think I didn't go as critical as I would have liked. I'll be the first to say it. Like there's more things I would have liked to be critical on, like, but I kind of rushed those videos out. I'm not gonna lie about that. And like the economy is something I just wish I was a little more critical on, because like they've done a lot of good to improve it, but the economy does still feel miserable. The time to grind, it's no War Thunder bad. Like War Thunder's like my go-to example of like bad, like how bad grinding can feel. But it's not nearly as like balanced as I think it should be.
I think they're moving into the right steps for a better economy, but some of their decisions aren't just like the wisest one. Like when we used to loot bosses, we used to get orbs. Remember, we used to get legendary orbs at legendary, and then like lower tier orbs lower. And I had a surplus, so I was like, okay, let me start promoting random characters. Like, let me use this orb to promote a Neurothrope, which is a tune at first I was never going to use, but I had tons of shards. I had tons of Xeno orbs. I was like, why not? Let's see how you do roll later on. But now you're like, I don't have the guild raid badges to purchase the book or the orbs. So I have to be more focused. So it kind of kills that diversity. So a lot of people go, I'm going to go with the best team. And right now, that's Lavicious. He's the best. He was in a battle pass, so he was real easy to get. And creators are tossing shards like crazy. Like, if you look at the shards lately been
Oh
handing
yeah.
out, it's Levistus, it's Azoth. People know what people are trying to build right now. So,
Yeah, and
you know,
it does go back to that whole diversity
yeah, it
thing.
kind of
It's
kills it. So it's like, if you don't have a preset red team, your best bet right now is hope you got Levicious during the battle pass and roll with it.
yeah, you hope you get Leviscus, and then if you weren't around for the legendary events, you now are hoping that you get god tier luck with each legendary drop.
Yeah, on Reddit, it's a
Which,
bunch of posts, people going like, "Will I get Trajan? Will I get Trajan? Will I get Trajan?" And it's like they're trying so hard because he's like a pillar of not just one raid team, but 2 raid teams.
yeah, and it's just it's not healthy at all for the game right now. Like honestly, I don't want this whole thing to be like being overly negative, but I'm glad that we are talking about the more negative side of the game right now first, because I always like leaning more towards the positive on the later
Oh
half,
yeah,
because I'd rather something and on a positive note, like hey, like these details, yeah, they're not agreeable, they're not in a good spot, but we do have things that are going in the right direction.
yeah. And one of the positives I will say is I'm excited that if the rumors are true about the Primarch, about Lionel Johnson joining the game as a boss, I think that'd be great for the game. Because if he has a melee counter that counters these melee kind of groups, it could lead to a good range team showing up. It could lead to a Neurothrope like this is their boss. You know, it's like don't play big hit because he's a glass cannon and he's gonna get smacked on the first turn. But it breeds more creativity because people are now trying to figure out what do we do against a boss that counters all the melee attacks.
And it is something needed. Like this, to me, guild raids thrives best when you have a good balance between each of the guild raid teams. Which requires your guild to start planning out better. It requires your guild to like think ahead. And I think it's something that even here in the watch we kind of we've lost for a little while now. Is that relying on each other to take up their bosses, destroy their bosses, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's something I very much enjoyed seeing is the teamwork we had. And once again, I hate just going once Leviscus came, but that was the shifting point. Leviscus caused such a drastic shift to the guild raid meta. Like I've never like the only other time I can think of that happening was when Admex joined, and even then, they didn't end up taking over every single boss, or at least 90% of them.
But if you think back, when AdMech was in that dominant state, what was No Prince's response? We're gonna put Crawl in the game. Crawl is an AdMech character. You can't use AdMech. And that was like,
Which
oh,
is
what do we do
perfect.
now? Kind of moment.
And that's perfect, and that does give me hope for the Lion. Like that is another way they can work around nerfing big hit strategies is introducing mechanics to new bosses that get incentivize a different style of play.
And
And
another thing is, we still got two other Chaos Primarchs they could introduce. Fulgrim still has a model now, so we can introduce Fulgrim to the game. He's Emperor Trojans. That automatically disbars Leviscus. We have Korn, who's definitely going to be a big melee healer, probably almost acts just like Karn, where he gets like 2 swings a turn.
I remember making a joke about Angron in creator chat. Like he just like randomly smites a guy out of pure rage.
I would enjoy seeing an Angron like kind of style guild raid battle where like there is a lot of like Jackal kind of characters, and if one of them's not alive, Angron just chooses one of your characters to smacks. But if one of the Jackals is alive, he'll run over there and smack them instead. So it's kind of like don't kill the ass, but you gotta kind of corral them. Like maybe use like a Biovore strategy to pull them
Yeah,
away.
that would be interesting. Like having to use the boss's own additionals to like manipulate it. Like that's I think that also comes down to another issue with Magnus is there's not really any good ways to manipulate him where every other boss does have a way to manipulate.
Oh yeah, or at least get them
And
into a position where like, okay, I could kind of work with this.
it is something that at the end of the day, like I don't ever think Magnus needs like a full rework. There's like a few problem abilities that need to be just tweaked, and his additionals need to be like I'm not saying like nerfed into the ground, but like the Termies are painful, and the Rubric Marines endure way too much right now.
I feel the Rubric
And
Marines are something that could be not handled. Like for me, the Rubric Marines are like they're an afterthought. It's the Terminators that are the problem because they have Terminator armor and they resurrect. Like you got to line them up perfectly to take them out in one turn.
I know something I would also just love to see is just oh no, I had it and I completely flumped it. Oh damn it. I don't want to keep going back at Magnus though.
So let me ask you this: out of the vast array of characters in Warhammer 40k, there's tons of them. What bosses would you like to see be added to the guild raid?
Honestly, I'm not. There's like everyone says the Primarchs. Everyone and like I would love to see like having a fight against Gilliman or something like that.
I think that'd be.
But at the same time, I wonder if like I'm not sure who they. I don't know, I'm not as versed in like the individual units myself. Like I the most I I'm trying to think of it's like how do you do ones for because it seems like they obviously want to keep it with hey it has to be a faction currently in the game, so that also like limits the scope of what you can choose. We have Death Guard, we have 1,000 Sun, we have plenty of Tyranids, which that's something I will say. It's like I hope we don't really ever get another Tyranid.
I'm kind of hoping for some like not end game raid bosses, but more variety on the lower end. Let's add in some of those lower tier name characters, so we're not just always, oh, it's a season of the three Tyranids, or it's Gorgots, and like the Silent King several
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, like more like kind of like middle of the pack difficulty bosses,
Yeah.
or like that, or hell, even like low end difficulty bosses. That way you have more variety in what you're facing, even on the lower end of the spectrum. Like, I mean, that's because yeah, if you look at each boss that has been added recently, a lot of people find the like like there are a lot more durable type
Like, I
bosses.
don't know if
You
you
have
kept up with the new model lines that are coming out for 11th edition, but they have a new sister battle unit, or sorry, adapted Sororitas unit. She's sitting on a giant throne. She has a multi melter, a flamer, and a heavy bolter on a giant throne. Add her as a lower tier boss. Then you just cut out Sisters of Battle from, or Adaptosaurus from her pool of characters. She may show up as an L5, rarely a mythic, but mostly like L1, L5 area. And then she'll be in like the lower pools, like the epic pools and stuff. And then you can give her a side
you know
boss
that
of like Vindicta and like Rothwell and stuff like that. So you're not just going, oh, we're going to make Saint Celestine into a raid boss, but we're going to choose this newer model lady who wouldn't fit as a character for the faction, but
yeah
it's still cool to look at. And it's like, ooh, I want to
yeah
get that
no
model and I want to play against her too. Or like, have you seen the new Commissioner Graves model? That would be a cool boss
no I have
fight. It's
not.
literally a commissar on a giant tank with a sword pointing forward. Let me see that instead of a Robo Dorn every single turn. You could have it
Yeah,
like spawn in, and every turn it just plops out little military guardsmen, Imperial guardsmen, and you got the same Commissioner Yark kind of deal where like if a guard spawns and he dies, she'll shoot one, buff every other one on the field. So you're like constantly taking care of these enemies on the field while fighting her on her giant tank.
I would personally also like to see like just more variance in what mythic bosses we're facing. Like when they first introduced mythic, I think they did it in such a good way of, oh, here you have, we'll start with like one of our easier bosses. So we started with Turvagon, and then it went to, I think the next season was Hive Tyrant, if I remember right, and so on.
It was like Hive
I would
Tyrant and then
like to
Gazgul.
I would love to see like Gorgon and Turvagon occasionally being the sorry, not Gorgon, Turvagon and
Hive Tyrant.
Hive Tyrant being I would love to see them more at Mythic, because I think that's it is, even though they're easy, they're quite enjoyable to fight.
Oh yeah, or even
They're
spice it up and like make a new tier character if you want to have a mythic boss like the Red Terror or Ode One Eyes. There's a plethora of like, legendary mythic characters that they can pull from the lore. Whereas like, oh, a Tervagon, he's like a no-name like monster. We're gonna instead put like Old One Eyes, who's basically a souped up Carnifex that's like built to kill. Or the new Red Terror, where it digs underground and swallows people whole. Could be interesting.
although I don't know how good a bot Red Terror might not work though, because that would also imply that I don't know, to make that work though. I feel like he would have to be off the field for a turn, which then you have to find a way to like let you do synaptic backlash damage to him while he's underground, which
Yeah, and I can understand that too.
might not be the most intuitive thing.
I understand that. That does make sense. That's probably why they never put it in like a Moloch or or was it a Trigon or Trivor? Whatever. The other digging unit.
Yeah, oh, I know it's in Space Marine. I can't remember the name offhand either. I think I know which one. Like you're talking about like the one in the what's that? Like the Space Marine 2 mission, I want to say it's like extrication or something. I can't
Yeah,
remember
it's basically just
the
a
name
giant
offhand.
serpent that goes underground.
I would personally like to see though just like more variety in boss archetypes as well. Like I feel like we have like a lot of bosses either fall into a overly tanky or an overly squishy kind of thing. I don't know if there's a boss that I would say is definitively balanced in squishiness and tankiness.
I feel the
Because a lot
closest
of
we
the
get.
newer bosses.
I feel the closest we
Oh,
get to
sorry.
that kind of good ground is Avatar.
Even then, I would say Avatar does lean on the more tankier side, but yeah, I can see that argument. It's something I would like to see though, because like a lot of the new bosses, Riptide, Call, like Call at first, like original Call was kind of BS, like with self repair mechanism, and I like the way they changed it into adding armor instead. But that's beside the point. Like original, how Call originally came in, Riptide, and a lot of the Magnus, for example, as well. Very tanky, very durable, takes a lot of tokens to defeat. And it's been a while since we've had something that's a little more on the. I don't. And it's not like saying I want a squishy boss who is a pushover like the Tyranids, but I would love a boss who just finds a nice middle ground. And I don't think Lion can be that. I think Lion needs to be towards the tankier side just to fit that like Primarch role. But you have more knowledge on models. Like, is there like a model that you can think of would like kind of fit a like balanced kind of thing in
So
that sense?
this is gonna sound like a little sus, but I would say Aggron might actually fit that because Aggron's all about he does a lot of damage, but on the board game, on the field, on the tabletop, he's really squishy. Like he could go in, he could destroy a tank in one turn, but he's probably not going to make it out of that tank's range of everyone else shooting him. So he's like
So he finds kind of like a balance by all like he finds like kind of like a balance by being a berserker
basically.
basically.
I don't know if you ever played like WoW or any of the RPG or MMOs, but maybe we could have like a DPS race versus just a outlast race. Because it feels a lot of these bosses are
Yeah.
where we're just grinding it down. We're doing 200k, we're doing 300k. It'd be interesting if we don't have to wait for the last turn for all our damage. What if it's like the opposite? What if it's like, let's try to unload our damage turn one, turn two, because we might not make it to turn three, turn four, turn five, just because how much output the damage the boss is doing.
Wouldn't that be Gaz?
Sort of, but Gaz kind of like fell out of that real quick. He's like,
Yeah,
surround him
Gas
and punch
has
him in the face.
two.
Nowadays,
Gas has,
yes,
I
but
think,
in the past, when you had the Bellator strat for him, you basically just needed to surround him and hit him with whatever hit most because of his armor.
Yeah.
So if they buff that or modify that in some way, he could fill in that middle category.
Yeah, and I think RA kind of like broke that balance he had since once RA came, we found good pinning strats, so he doesn't really do his charge, he doesn't do any of his AoE attacks, so I think on the other side, he also just needs some like AI changes to like at least more smartly try to escape a pin.
And see, that's also something where Aggron will have a difference between Gas, is because Aggron has wings. If he gets pinned, he could fly out of there. Gas doesn't make sense. Does he just bulldoze your units? He does the charge, but he doesn't do the charge every turn. And even then, he charges, turns back around. You're still in walking distance to get back to him.
Yeah, and something I don't understand with Gaz is why does he have to move before he can charge? Because once you have him pinned, he doesn't charge at all, which it feels wrong for like this big orc just to be like, I guess I sit here now.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Because you look at Magnus, and Magnus is squirrely. He's moving all over the place. He never sits still.
At the same time, though, then that becomes an issue of, well, then you've... Although I think it would be more fun than it would be annoying, but all Gazgul strats basically get thrown out the window if that change were to happen. So it would... at the same time, I guess you gotta think of it that way as well. Is what's the cons to that?
Yeah. And just to go back to Magnus, I think him moving is not so much the issue. I think it's him moving and then taking the guy that's in their proper spot and teleporting halfway across the screen at the same time. Like, if he moves, he shouldn't be also teleporting a person, you know?
I know one of the suggestions I've seen for adjusting Magnus is literally making it to where there is a capped range he can move a character, and it cannot be across the map.
Honestly, I feel he should be able to move the furthest away character right beside him so he could go to a hit onto that character. Because that's more more like a scorpion get over here versus, oh, I'm gonna troll you. Across the bridge you go.
Yep, now you have to deal with my ads again while trying to cross to this bridge again. Because yeah, screw you.
Yeah.
It kind of fits in line with Zinch, though.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like it is very Sinchy trickery type stuff. And I don't think that identity part to Magnus should be reworked out of him. It just needs to be a little less punishing and a little less going from a run that might break 700 to 300 because I teleported your character across the map.
Or I do like 3 or so copies in a row.
Oh gosh, yeah, that.
Or he copies Karn.
That too, yeah.
He killed the ad, and then he immediately copies Karn again. And you're like, what? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Did we just do this? The worst part is also because it's Karn, you always have a chance of that Karn on Karn shenanigan where you don't overkill him. He hits your guy, doesn't overkill him. He hits back, and then both Karns are dead.
I feel that's very on brand for the World Eaters.
It is. That is very World Eater-esque.
Not great for us, though.
No.
I mean, let me ask you guys this. What are the things that you think are going right for guild rates? So, like, what is something that you've been enjoying as of late?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is I've been grinding at guild rates for a very long time. When I first started, like, in the guild, I was doing 200k damage. Seeing the steady progression from 200k to like 800k, I just broke 1 million on Avatar. That was super exciting to me. I was like, yeah, ran around the house. So it's seeing those big numbers is something I'm very excited in. But at the same time, I'm like, who's the next boss they could bring in? Like, other than Lion, who else from the lore they could like pull in? Like, are we gonna get Drukhari eventually? Eventually, is Vec gonna show up? He'll be a fun raid boss. Never know when Vec's gonna show up.
I'm kind of upset that they've put Abaddon the Despoiler as a playable character when he could have been a good option for a boss.
That's also true. Abaddon should have been a boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is, yeah.
But then who would that capstone character for Black Legion be?
I mean,
like when I think of Black Legion, there's not a lot of Black Legion kind of characters other than Abaddon that really stands out like this is their legendary.
Yeah, and I mean they got like two of the other named characters that people will sometimes think of, Hurricane World Claimer and technically Volk, because Volk is the original Obliterator.
Like, I'm trying to think of like the Black Legion model line on tabletop. There's that guy riding the giant demon spider, but he'll fit more as a raid boss than Abaddon because it's a giant guy on a raid spider.
Ooh. I just thought about it. Could they add a Helldrake as a Black Legion boss?
I don't know.
Or would that be more fitting as a machine of war for a chaos unit?
I see it more as a machine of war, but I don't see it as a good machine of war. Like, already in my head, I'm like, it flies out, it breathes fire, you get fire in the field, whoop-de-doo.
That is true. Oh man.
Like, I'm thinking of like Machines of Wars that some of the factions don't have. Like Admech, they'll probably get a Doomcrawler. Maybe like Voltan. I think they got like those weird buggies they got. You know.
I mean, I will say, well, one of the things I'm still disappointed with Votan is, I gotta find which character I'm thinking of. I think it's Amok. Yeah, it is Amok. Amok to me had so much potential to be like a new Admech character, like very interesting. And then it just kind of came out that he's like meta, like a slightly off meta because his numbers are equivalent to Eldrion, and I'll be honest, I was a bit disappointed by that. Amok to me has so much potential for like synergies with Admex, yet he kind of fell flat on delivery.
Yeah, I feel that's what's going to happen with the new Necron guy too. He's going to fall flat on delivery.
I'm very surprised they didn't go with like someone like Trazen the Infinite, but at the same time, how do you work Mr. Gotta Catch Them All into a good system that isn't just like he temporarily says to this character, "You're not allowed to fight."
See, I would make him into a raid boss.
Yeah, and just disabled your character for a turn or something.
Or he puts him in a prison and you have to break the prison out.
That would also be
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, he puts like a little.
He would make a fun raid boss
on a character, and then like if Karn's there, Karn hits the stasis field, but he's not going to hit your character. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it's like it's good to have characters that do that double swing in both locations, or characters that hit two spots at the same time, like how Airman's like blast will go 1, 2, so you can hit the stasis field and then hit Trazen. Could be interesting.
I mean, I guess that can also bring up another question. Like, outside of the Necrons, so the Tyranids are the only faction as of now that have multiple raid units. I guess my question becomes, if you had to choose one of the current factions out, like Necron, like we've already like talked about an idea for like Necrons, like who would you want to see like another raid boss from a faction like that already has one?
Well, my vote would be for Commissar Graves and her crazy tank. That I feel that could be something very interesting, because you already have the movement pattern for Dorn where it moves, it targets, but instead of being one giant blast, it's like it moves, it unloads a groups of like either bulligans or bulligrams, or it unload like every turn it just unloads a different set of units. Like it'll unload Temptistas one turn, or unload bulligrams one turn, and you're just constantly like managing ads and the tank at the same time.
One turn it unloads the missing Steel Legion from the Armageddon shorts.
Pretty much, and then you have this tank, and every turn instead of her attacking, it's her unleashing these units and then buffing them. Like one turn she'll give them like attack buff, next turn be like a defensive buff, the third turn be something else. And then if a unit dies near her, she shoots one and then reactivates the buff.
Yeah. That does sound, to me, that does sound interesting. I mean, movement bosses are one I've always struggled with. Like, without a doubt, it's one of my weaker types bosses. Like, I suck with Avatar and Dorn, but I would be willing to learn that. That sounds enjoyable to me.
And
although maybe a little too, although I could already see the meta for that leaning a little too hard on Forge Fiend.
And again, Forge Fiend kills a guy, boom, she starts buffing them. And it becomes like a race kind of deal.
True.
And if you think you have her like in place locked down, she's on a giant tank. She just drives through just like Dorn does. It's a party wagon, straight through. So you can't really block her. You can kind of lead her in a path, but you can't block her in a path.
I wonder what team would work best against that then. Because, I mean, I'll be the first to say, I'm sometimes surprised by how much Admex work against Dorn. Just like, to me, it feels weird, but at the same time, it's like, I've never claimed to be a good Admech player, and I'm never gonna, because They were my team for over a year and a half, but I don't think I ever played them that great personally. And maybe I'm just like giving myself too much hell, but it's like I see what our guild leader Duck does, and it's just like I feel like, man, I wish I could do that. Duck's insane though. At the same time, like, dude's just really good at the game.
All right, it's pretty impressive. Like, I'll get like a really high score on something. I'm like, all right, I better enjoy this moment for the next 30 seconds till someone else comes along.
Better enjoy this moment before someone. That's how man. That's how I don't remember what season it was, but that's how I felt about how I was doing. I want to say it was against Actus. Like, I was like, man, I'm doing really good this season against Actus. Like, I'd be shocked if someone beats this, and then someone came along and beat it, and I was like, well, damn.
Yeah, I think for me, it was maybe like 4 or 5 seasons back, as like I was like number 1 and Dacker was right behind me. I was like, I could do this. I could beat one of the top players. I just have to keep focus. And in the end, boom, sure enough, he goes over me. I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll take silver. And then I was like, nope, you're taking bronze. Be happy with it.
I know it's been a little bit since I was on our leaderboards. I mean, I had a lot going on, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, for me, one of the hardest things for me still is like wanting to like. I have such a want to always just like go in blind and try to do better than I did last time, even if like trying to at least learn and copy from a replay a bit is the more optimal route. And like once we have, I don't know if the watch is in a spot where we can push for top 50 again right now. Like, I feel like we're still kind of, I don't want to say like in a recovery phase, but like I don't know if we're quite in the spot where we're ready to punch for top 50, but like once we are, like, I know I'm gonna be like, I don't want to say copying because it's hard to copy a replay perfectly. A lot has to go right, but like at least adjusting my playstyle for what a replay shows.
I think,
and that's the thing that always makes me excited for guild raids, is that at the end of the day, like seeing the guild getting close to like top 60, top 50, and it's just like, come on guys, let's punch it, we can do this.
Yeah, I feel that's what we've been getting lately with Guild Wars, is like, especially like this season, we're like on fire with Guild Wars. Like, so many times it's like, oh, we're facing this people, we're going to lose, and all of a sudden it's like, nope, we turned it around last second. Where Guild Raid is kind of like, dude, it's a slog right now.
I'm still so glad we beat the Red Corsairs. That was a satisfying win.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, they turned it on real
close
quick
as
at the
well.
end, though.
It was real close, and that's. I mean, I wish more wars went that way.
I mean,
I wish more wars were that interesting.
Last war was pretty good as well, because they had advantage, then we came from behind, and they've started pushing as well, but we just managed to squeeze in a win for what was under 10k.
Seeing all those flashing green lights was so satisfying. It is so nice seeing just like everyone is giving it their all. We got 5 people trying to punch through this front line at this moment. It is a bit euphoric.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad that last war, because I was like, oh, it's 3 hours, I have to do my matches now. I've been putting it off too long.
I did that at the 2-hour point. I was like, uh-oh.
It's like, who we're attacking? Oh, Gene Stealer call? Ugh, let's do this.
Dude, I hate those guys so much. With the ultimate passion.
I have been learning with the Gene Stealer call, and I don't know if this is right or not, but don't try to take them all out at the same time. You're either going to take them all at the same time, or take 2 down and just come back again. Like, if you could kill Holland and not Judah, Isaac. The other one. What's the one that does the 5 squares at a time?
Like the guy who can summon up to, like, I want to say it's like 3 to 4 in a turn. Yeah, that's Isaac.
If you could kill those 2 on your first turn or go around, the next turn is going to be so much easier.
Oh yeah,
like a million times easier.
For me, I've been like, whenever I go up against the Gene Stealer lines, I'll just grab my rapid assault team, like my crappy rapid assault team, and it works out, like I would say, like 7 times out of 10. There's always that one though where like I accidentally hit Jude and she absolutely snaps one of my characters in half.
I've been using a Counter-Strike team, so it's like Mugen Raw, Calidus, the Dark Angel guy, the 2 Dark Angels that have Counter Strikes. I just put them all in like a giant like bubble. Wait till they come to me. It's like, come on, we're both going to die at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I don't know why that makes me think of this, but like, do you guys think Battlesuit, or well, really any ranged team will ever like push past Gazgul and 1 Prime, or do you think it's just kind of like a flawed team in general?
I'm always on Team Copium for Chiron. I remember when Chiron was announced, and like everyone's like, "Oh, it's the start of the range meta. We just gotta figure it out." And it just went out the window. It's like, nope, Nandy wants a battle suit. We're gonna get a battle suit. You know, that's where I feel. I feel Chiron's like untapped potential, especially with the Volk rework. There's something there. I just never gonna take the time to figure it out.
Yeah, I personally, I'm not sure if there's ever gonna be a time where reasonably I could see range outperforming melee, because a big part is, so I've just like always been questioning, like, how do you manage to get a boss into a position and hold them there when your characters need range 2, range 3? How do you manage that? And to me, the answer has always just been, in my mind, been, well, you realistically can't, because you can't stun a boss because they have immune. Like, unless they add some character who can break through the immune status, I don't think there would be ever a time where ranged can work out.
I honestly think the closest we get to a range meta is Neuro right now, because you don't want your Neuro throat to be right on top of the boss. In fact, you don't want 90% of your Psychers anywhere near your boss. The only guy that needs to be near the boss is sometimes Sakura, sometimes Archie, and the minions they summon. That's it. Everyone else, I'm cool at 2 squares away. That's where I want to live right now. I don't need the boss to be right on top of me.
Yeah, I guess if you want to go for range, you need something that has a big minion spawn. Keep them busy.
Yeah. Which that already limits your pool of bosses as well, because there I would say probably about like half the bosses are really good at anti-summon.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, like I can't even attack Gazgul with Abraxas, because that's just asking to lose.
I couldn't imagine trying to. That's not something I could imagine trying to do, like Gaz with Neuro. I mean,
I did have one good run as a Neuro against Gas, and that's the one turn I didn't summon anything, and I was counting up to 7 every single turn.
Man, it still makes me so glad that they added the UI for that. Like, to me, it kind of sucks it took so long for them to add a UI so you don't have to always manually count. But it is something I'm glad they at least did. They can find it makes it maybe a little less skill based, but at the same time, it also boosts the intuitiveness of Gazgul. Like, bosses to me should always have at least a level of, hey, it's a little intuitive. There's a way to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And seeing them add that for Gazgul, it did make me glad. It made me happy.
Yeah, I will say the UI has gotten over time better. I do love the new favorites. the new, hey, check the stats before you select your units kind of deal. That has been a huge improvement for raids.
I would love if they, like, for in battle, they add more filter options. Like, when I was doing one of our last wars, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to try doing a all single hit team. Oh no, sorry, it was when I was doing an arena thing, because I like trying to adjust my arena team to be more on par with the league I'm in, because it bothers me when I'm running my max level teams in like veteran league, because I don't always play arena, so I often get ducked down into lower leagues. And it's just like, I was like, you know what, I'll use this time in arena then to like try some unique lineups I don't get to try. So I was like, man, let's do like an all single hit team with Ancient Thored alongside them, and then I could not remember all the one hits for the life of me.
Oh, this can come down to a filter system they could implement to create lineups.
Or presets.
Right?
Yeah, and I mean,
like they did with favorites, but
presets too. Yeah,
get some presets. Yeah, so you can research in your free time and just select a save them in a preset and use them in either raids or arena or tournament arena.
Ooh, that would be actually such a nice quality of life thing as well, because of how many times you have to like, especially because each side boss, each boss, well, just each mode has like teams that are needed, or like that it's better to run this team over something. So like being able to have presets for like, oh, here's my Alpha Strike team, here's my AdMech, here's AdMech variant 1, 2, and 3, whatever, you know.
Exactly.
That would be so.
And I don't know if you guys ever had this issue, but you do a side boss, you swap your machine of war, you go to the main boss, and all of a sudden you're like facing Avatar with the Biovore, and you're like, oops.
Yep.
Oops. Yep. Exactly. I've done that with Zarek. There was one time I don't remember what side boss. Wait, it might not have been Zarek, but I was running. It was Zarek. I was running freaking Galatian for one of the side bosses, and then freaking I forgot to switch it, and I was like, oh well, I guess I ain't baiting him off the throne.
Yeah.
I guess he's staying up there now.
Yeah, presets would be a very good addition.
And I mean, at the end of the day, I do still think that despite like Tacticus' many flaws as of now, like there's many faults.
Oh yeah.
But I at the end of the day, I think the game is still going in the right direction. Like, it was something I made sure to point out several times when I did my State of Tacticus. It's just like there are details of the game that suck, no doubt. But man, the game feels good still. Like, the game, each update feels better and better.
Out of the many gacha games you have at the moment, I think Tacticus is one of the better managed and fairly balanced for user experience.
I mean, I enjoy the game a lot. Deep down, I'm praying Snowprint goes like, oh, we're going to do an Age of Sigmar version. And I'm like, oh, I'm there. Day one. Sign me up. Beta tester. Let's go. Just put the 9 Hans in. We'll call it a day.
Oh, that man, I wonder how that would.
I mean, we could use the same.
I wonder
formula.
how that stuff would work out.
Yeah, just same formula, just switch out the models.
Yeah.
You know, you got your Stormcast Eternals, you got your 9 Hans, you know, and the models look just as great, if not better. You know?
I don't actually. I've never actually looked into Age of Sigmar stuff. I don't even. It's like I only know like I mean, I don't want to say their main product, but like I feel like it's. Is it fair to say Warhammer 40K is like the main line?
40K is definitely the main line. That's where they make their money. Sigmar is, hey, I want to make a cool model. Let me take a break from 40K.
Yeah, it's just the fantasy lineup because people want fantasy as well, and it just made sense since Games Workshop's doing the Lord of the Rings minis as well.
So I forgot about that too.
Yeah, they have experience doing fantasy stuff. Why not make
so
Warhammer?
So instead of sci-fi, it's their fantasy setting.
Yep.
Okay,
it's their updated fantasy setting because you still got the old world where it's the old models people used to have. Because Age of Sigmar is like, oh, the world basically nuked itself. This is the new old world or the new fantasy. Because when Age of Sigmar first came out, everyone was super upset.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of bounced back around with the Spearhead model, where it's like, you're not building these giant armies. You're buying an army in a box, and that's all you need to play.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the updated kill teams, for example, in 40k, and I think in Sigmar as well, because they have their own variant. You can just buy a box of them and play.
You're done.
I think we're hitting a good point to start wrapping things up. For certain, like, I'm very surprised at how well this feels like it's gone. I'm gonna be honest, before going into this, I was like, man, this is not gonna work. I'm gonna have to rush something out. I'm gonna have to do something else. I've been more than pleasantly surprised, and I'm thinking I will definitely do this again sometime.
Oh, I will definitely join you again if you want me to.
I will not argue.
You're lucky you got him to join, because otherwise it would have been a very one-directional conversation between you.
Yeah.
To be fair, I got a friend at work.
No doubt.
Friend at work, we always make podcasts while we're doing work, and we're like, we should make an actual podcast one day. I'm like, it's never happening.
I think that's how all podcasts start.
I would definitely like to do this again sometime. Is just kind of like a sit down chat about just Tacticus, whatever, like Warhammer stuff. And like, it doesn't need to be precise. Like, there are definitely times we veered off a little bit, but I think that honestly added on more than it was detrimental. So I'm very satisfied with this. I'm probably gonna have to make a post on YouTube, like saying, yeah, I'm not gonna have it out Sunday, but it'll be out Monday, because I actually think I want to give this enough time to edit. Then, like, give myself all Sunday to edit instead of just trying to rush it today. And I mean, I had to thank both of you, because that's what has made this possible. Like, I know you joined a little late, Bohm, but like, still, you added on to this.
I was talking on mute for a while because I had my headset, apparently.
Yeah, I had my phone on mute for a while, and I was like, let me make sure, let me unmute it real quick, because I was going back and forth talking to the wife. I was like, he doesn't need to hear that. Mute.
I was like, oh, why are these guys just talking over me all the fucking time? This is ridiculous. I know my mic wasn't.
I'm sorry. I'm if I would have realized, I would have said something to you. But it's like, because I was looking at. Well, I was also on the opinion, because I forget, was it you who said you were more thinking of joining the more listened instead of engaged?
Yeah, because I don't know much about
I was like,
guild rates or anything about the games, the game in a mechanics point of view, like from mechanics.
I mean, well, to me though, that's still very valuable to me, honestly. Like, that's something I was actually hoping to get, is like, hey, what's like the view of people who aren't as like technically skilled?
That's why I wanted to join, because it would have been a good opportunity to actually hear things about the game that I don't really take into consideration.
Well, here, let's do this before we wrap this up. Let's just have like a quick little moment. Like, what is I would like to know your thoughts, like, because you said you were muted for a bit, so I would actually like to hear that. Well, at least you can remember.
I don't think I can. I don't remember where I wanted to chip in, but yeah, it was quite eye-opening to hear you and Sui Tengu talk about the abilities and synergies and whatnot of characters, and just the depth of knowledge on boss mechanics and team compositions. But yeah,
I will say.
Yep.
Oh, I was just saying, like, overall, I'm very satisfied with this. Like, I didn't know if, like, only a few people could give justice to how guild raids feel, how things have gone, and I mean, maybe we didn't go exactly where I was hoping, but like, overall, I'm very glad. Like, this was well worth the time, and we'll definitely probably do this again sometime in the future. Like, I don't even like if this doesn't do that good for me view wise, like this was just too enjoyable to not do again.
Yeah, I would love to do one just like maybe faction focused, like we pick a faction and deep down in it, dive it. Not like a meta faction, but just like how do we feel about Necros lately?
What
yeah, because I think we've talked enough about.
Sorry.
Oh no, you go. It's fine.
Just like a suggestion for future discussions. So if you have, so I've noticed you did have some questions written down that you want, or some key points you wanted to discuss throughout this this chat. You can set up bullet points in the event space and say, hey, let's do this chat. These are the subject points. Let's do it next week, so people can actually, if they want to join, they can research the things and come in a bit more guns blazing and knowledgeable.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like, I have. It's like this was definitely very spur of the moment kind of thing. Like, and it's more just like I kind of went, oh crap, I don't really know what I want to do for coming up, because I need to start actually making content again. But I think for the future, like, I have at least an idea of what I can do.
Of course.
Like, I'm thinking like at least like a couple week prep time.
Yeah, it was just a suggestion, not a reproach.
Oh no, and it's a good one.
But
no, I would definitely love to do this again. It's very fun to talk to someone that actually knows about Warhammer versus just talking to my wife, and she gives me the blank stare of like, yes, I let you buy those models. It's like, ooh, that one looks nice.
I gotta get myself, once I start working here soon, I need to get myself some Death Guard models.
I wish I would have told me that. Nice. I literally just sold a friend my whole entire Death Guard collection. I would have just sold it to you for cheap and just like, all right, I'm going to bail it eventually.
Oh well, it's definitely some, like, Death Guard is. I wonder if it's my favorite faction. It's a real guess.
They're pretty cool. The models are pretty awesome.
I would say this. Be glad you're getting into Death Guard now, because when I got into Death Guard a long time ago, the meta was have 80 Poxwalkers. That was the meta.
Yeah.
The Poxwalker army.
To be fair, like, Disgustingly Resilient is pretty busted in any case. And if you have just an army of Poxwalkers, you're just going to wreck stuff and they won't die.
Yeah, it's like great. The first 20 were super well painted. By like the 60th model, I was like, all right, it's slap green. He's good to go. Move on.
You know what it is.
This guy's great. He's fine. He came out the mold wrong. Nurgle loves him still.
He's just extra plague.
You know, painting Death Guard was like, I get to paint something that's not a Poxwalker? All right, let's take some detail time. Poxwalker is like, so army painter makes quick shade. Boom, dip done. Boom, dip done.
There's not going to be much of an outro here. I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all again sometime soon. In some good news, I finally got a proper job, which is honestly something I never thought I'd be able to say again. It's felt like it's been forever since I've worked, and I'm just very excited. We'll have to see how that affects my ability to release content. I know I've been on and off as of late. I had a lot of stuff come up with life, and that just took precedence over my channel. I'm still going to aim to release a video every weekend, but if I for some reason can't, I will always try to keep you all in the loop. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a good week. This is your host, Legend, signing off.